Okay, so it's time again for me to give you my thoughts while you watch me get my butt kicked by bots. Today's Wednesday, the March 22nd, and there's a lot of things in the news. There's a lot of crazy stuff getting ready to happen. One of the things in the news is that Putin and Chin, the two leaders of China and Russia, are having a meeting right now, and they're discussing trade. Well, U.S. government has it in its mind that they're also discussing how they're going to force everyone to they're taking over Ukraine, and China's going to sell a bunch of weapons to Russia to screw us in Ukraine, blah, 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 blah. Listen, anybody who has a third of a brain cell at this point knows that the whole Ukraine war thing is a grift. It's just another way for politicians to launder more money. That's all it was from the beginning. That's all it is now. It's a way for Biden and his buddies to launder money. The whole Ukraine thing should have been over a long time ago. Russia should have just took whatever part of it that they, wanted to be part of Russia. If they wanted to be part of Russia, they should let them be part of Russia. Now you got the leader of Ukraine. I forget what his name is. He looks like one of the rejects from one New York mob type. He runs around in a jumpsuit. Anyway, he's been forcing people into the military. Okay? And people don't want to fight in his military. They don't want to fight against the Russians. Nobody in their right mind wants to fight against the Russians if they don't got to. But Zelensky, or whatever the hell his name is, over there is basically forcing his people to fight. Which is why a lot of them are retreating, they're trying to get out of the country as quick as they can. In the meantime, you got the U.S. sending billions of dollars over there. And I mean billions. That's all coming out of taxpayers' money. And meanwhile, inflation's through the roof in the U.S. We're getting ready to go into stagflation. And they're talking about changing us over to this central bank digital currency in July, which I have more thoughts on that here in a little bit. You have some dumbass DA in New York is interfering with an election by trying to arrest Trump, and that's exactly what it is. It's election interference. But at this point, the Democrats, they know they can't win legitimately, so they're pulling some underhanded crap. They're quite literally meddling in elections. So that's the situation there. And he said, Trump said that they was going to arrest him on Tuesday. I didn't see that happening to begin with, because I know that Pluto's getting ready to go into Aquarius, which is a sign of rebirth and renewal. At least that's what all the tarot card people that I've been listening to say. But their tarot readings for my sign are never right, because my life is basically a giant mud hole, giant black hole from which there is no escape. It's just a giant, just bend you over 24/7. So I figure that they are going to try to start this bullcrap trial, whatever the hell it is they're trying to pull, on the 23rd, which is when Pluto enters Aquarius. Because all the bigwigs the globalist bigwigs are into astrology and that sort of thing. Cultist, astrology, child sacrifice, that, they're a bunch of demon-loving cretins. Which is nothing, I got no problem with demons, as long as they don't screw with me. If they leave me alone, I don't do away with them. Now, the other thing on the CBDC. Last I heard, I'm on SSI disability. So I'm on SSI and SSA and SSDI. Or technically SSA and SSDI. And SSI to a point. I'm only allowed to have 2K in the bank at any time, so technically I'm on SSI. But I'm also on EBT. And the rumor is that they're going to force everyone on EBT to start taking an app in order to get your EBT, which you will also be able to use with your EBT to pay with your EBT. So you'll have an app that you have a QR code that you can scan at the self-checkout to pay for your food on your phone. Which doesn't surprise me. I knew that was coming anyway. I got an app that's similar to that I use, that I like to use, and it helps me keep track of my EBT. But I know that for a fact that the EBT here in Ohio has two options. It has EBT cash and EBT food. Now, I have a sneaking suspicion that when they bring in the CBDC, for anybody that is on Social Security disability and gets EBT like me, that they're going to link your CBDC to your EBT card, which means you'll have to have one app in order to control both of those things. Even though they're two separate accounts, you'll have to have them both on the same app. That's just way, in my mind, that's the way they're going to do it. I don't know if that's for sure the way they're going to do it. You might need two different apps, and the accounts might be separate. But it seems to me if they're just going to take control of everything, that's the way they're going to do it. So you'll have one card and one app for both your CBDC and your EBT. And the way they're talking about the CBDC, it's going to be set up so that you can only use it for a certain period of time, and then it expires.
3, 2,
so you have to spend it, and you can only spend it on certain things. Well, if they're going to do that with CBDC, then EBT at that point really becomes kind of pointless. Because if you can only use so much CBDC for food and rent, and the like, you know, for food, then EBT, there's really no point in having EBT anymore. Because you can only use it, you know, EBT for food to begin with. And in most states, you can't use it at a fast food restaurant or something like that. Any place where you can get hot food, you can't use it with a hot food.
Enemy flag returned.
Most places, which really kind of sucks, because you have older people who, you know, and homeless people who don't have facilities where they can, you know,
Weapons factory.
make food.
Flag has been taken. Weapons factory.
And
returned.
as a
Fortress.
result, you
Excellent.
know, you can't
Defense. Enemy
really get a hot meal.
Incoming quad. Enemy flag returned. Your flag has been taken. Quad spawned.
So,
Flag taken.
that in itself is already an issue. The fact that they're going to bring in this CBC that's only programmed to be used with certain things, that kind of makes EBT worthless at this point.
Netmaster.
Because then you'll have EBT, which you can only use with
Enemy has the quad.
EBT, which you can only use for food, and basically only cold food.
Your flag has been
And then you're going to have your programmable CBDC, which can only be spent on certain things. And I'm sure only so much of it will only be on food.
You have the flag.
So, as a result, that pretty much makes EBT pointless. If so much CBDC can only be spent on food.
Your flag returned. Enemy flag returned. Your flag returned. Point blank. Defense. Enemy flag taken.
Dark side there is.
So, we're going to have to see how that works out. Either way, basically it comes down to the government's going to screw the people however they
Your flag
can.
returned.
That's what it basically comes
Enemy
down to.
flag returned. Tank.
I mean, nothing new there. That's the way it's always been throughout history.
Man.
The elites will always screw over the little man,
Your flag
or the
has been
public.
taken.
The elites will always screw the public, basically.
Enemy flag taken. Incoming protection. Your flag has been taken. Your flag returned. Defense. Enemy flag returned.
And that's pretty much all I have to say on that matter.
Enemy has the protection.
So we'll see if we end up having to
Your flag returned.
see if we end up using the same card for EBT as for
Enemy flag taken.
CBDC. In the meantime, if you can get gold and silver to barter with, or
Enemy flag returned.
put into some Bitcoin that you can use for transactions outside of their currency, at this point I would suggest doing it while you can, especially being that Bitcoin prices are going through the roof.
Enemy flag taken. Your flag has been taken. Defense. Your flag returned. Enemy flag returned. Enemy flag taken. Your flag has been taken. Enemy flag returned. Enemy flag
So,
taken.
you know,
Your
get it while
flag
you can,
returned.
because the way I see it here, soon things are going to be on clearance sale because they're going to want to get rid of all the regular currency, and because it's going to have more value than their central bank digital currency.
Enemy flag
Because
returned. Enemy flag taken.
their central bank digital currency can be programmed to screw you.
Quad spawned. Quad damage. Mid-air.
And it will be programmed to screw you, you can be assured.
Handyman.
So do what you can with what you have.
1
And
minute warning.
I have a feeling people are just going to start going to a more of a barter system than anything else, because it's regressing, really, is what it is. That's basically what it comes down to. Society's regressing. We end up with a bunch of elite assholes who are basically feudal lords. Meanwhile, society regresses.
Enemy flag returned. 5, 4, 3, 2. Round 1 complete. Enemy flag taken.
So we'll see how that works out. Anyway, that's more or less all I got to say on the matter. I'm going to go ahead and stop the video here and cut this off. It probably ain't very long to begin with. I'll talk to y'all later. That's all, folks.